And we're off and running, Peter. How are
Hey
you today?
everybody, good to have you here today. Peter Gator here with TruBadger Nexus ecosystem. I'm here to go over a new exciting project that we've been working on that we are bringing forward. That's going to be very interesting. A lot of stuff out there about NFTs and what can be their benefits, what can they be used for, different things like that. So we're going to show you a unique utility to a set of NFTs today that is coming forward. So do we have Kevin with us yet?
Yep, he's here.
Let's bring Kevin up.
He's here. He's
I'm
here.
here. Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin Carr. I'm the founder of Green Citizen and also the founder and CEO of NPC Commercial. What we're looking at launching here are NFTs with a purpose. We've created a system for a clean planet of what we call box machines. These machines actually create instant clean energy, which create a self-sustainable process. These machines are basically they're 40-foot containers, and inside that 40-foot container is a series of solar panels that come out, and then also a folding turbine that comes out of the top of it that automatically becomes a mobile green generation system.
Rhonda, you want to pull up the site?
I will.
Perfect.
Kevin, if you'll hold on 1 second, I want to give them a 30,000 foot view of these amazing machines. So please share away. This will create a lot of interest, you guys. So thanks, Kevin. We are now looking at the website and the video.
Okay, so this system of machines basically is set up to do a few things. One is they're self-sustainable. So once we take this machine out of the factory, it's able to be landed and start creating green energy in a matter of weeks. Most projects like solar and or big wind take anywhere from 2 to 3 years from when a turbine or solar panels land to when they can actually start creating energy. Ours is immediate. We call it ICE technology or instant clean energy. The way that we've set up this system is it is self-sustainable. So when we're talking about NFTs with a purchase, these NFTs are going to go towards purchasing and landing these machines here in the US and abroad and creating energy that is very inexpensive, which I'll get into. But these machines, as they create energy, they sell that energy directly to the grid, and then they finance additional machines to be landed to keep adding green energy over and over again. So it's self-sustainable. So the machines generate profits to place down more machines. Now, a lot of people say that green energy is expensive. Well, these individual machines can generate a kilowatt of green energy for 2.5 cents, which is cheaper than coal. It's cheaper than natural gas, and it's cheaper than big wind, and it's on par with solar. So you have a way to generate clean energy, which can make a profit to purchase additional machines. So it's an inexpensive way for us to start creating a cleaner planet and generate additional machines over and over and over again. So it's not something that happens in 3 years from now. I mean, with changing the tide of where the planet is going, we need speed to a cleaner planet. And these machines are basically like printing green energy. They come out of the factory, they're put on a truck, they're landed in a field, connected to the grid, and green energy starts immediately, not 2 to 3 years from now, like most projects that are out there. So it's something that takes effect right away. In addition, they're also 100% made in the USA, in Pennsylvania. So it's also creating jobs for our US market in the green energy area. So the program that we have set up is using NFTs as a purpose. As a green citizen and a purchaser of these types of NFTs, within 2 to 3 years, you can become carbon neutral or carbon negative as an individual or a household, which is very important. And you're able to participate in one of these machines that on average will reduce about 1 million pounds of carbon per year per machine and generate over 500,000 green kilowatts of energy to business and homeowners in the US. So to give you an example of how much that is, in order to take off 1 million pounds of carbon from the planet, you would have to plant about 200,000 trees. So those 200,000 trees that you planted today would not even take off 1 million pounds of carbon for 30 years. A mature tree reduces carbon by 48 pounds per year. So each individual machine on this project is going to be the equivalent of planting 200,000 trees. So the entire project, which is our first launch of 10,000 NFTs, is going to be responsible for yearly reducing carbon by up to 10,000 pounds per year and generating over 500,000 green kilowatt hours for our economy. So we feel that this NFT project is one with definite purpose. It helps the planet. It allows you to participate on a level that makes a difference. There are a lot of, go ahead.
So Kevin, when we first started talking about this, when we were introduced to it, and we were first introduced, you had told me that there's some wealthy people out there that had said, they wanted to, justify their jets and all their fancy lifestyles and stuff. And so there's some people out there that are saying, hey, in order to become carbon negative or carbon neutral, they've spent, they've done things to try and ease their conscience a little bit, right, in this process. So can you kind of run the group by that story of what was spent and all that stuff? And because what we're saying here, guys, is instead of, I have my electric bill somewhere around here. I found it the other day and I was going to show it today on here, but it says I can check a box. And if I want to pay more money for my power, I can get it from a green source, right? First of all power is mixed together. So how do they even know? But the real cause is in the summertime, I live in Phoenix. My electric bill is already $500. Okay. I don't want it to go to $550 or $600, right? That doesn't seem to make sense, at least to me. But what does make sense is if I can purchase 1 or 2 NFTs, right? I'm going to definitely be shooting for 2, right? Because I want to become, our family now can become carbon neutral or carbon negative in a couple of years on, $500. Plus I still have the NFTs, which are resellable, which are going to accumulate this. So that NFT is going to be calculated on how much carbon it's reduced. So think of a NFT in 3 years or 5 years or 6 years that has, banked these millions or tens of thousands of pounds, whatever it is, in reduction of carbon that's out there. Because again, as we leverage the machines, first of all, 1 machine is purchased, then 2, then 4, then 8, then 30, then 40. So imagine having an NFT at some point in time that's taking literally an entire family's worth of carbon a year off of that. And then a family going, well, we'd love to be carbon negative. So they want to purchase that NFT in order to be into that category of what's going on. But Kevin, can you tell that story real quick?
Sure. So, thinking about large companies like, there's, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all these companies, position themselves as being carbon neutral. It doesn't mean that they are using 100% green energy. It's meaning that they're using coal and natural gas. And then from there, they go to somebody who owns an energy park and buys their what's called carbon credits from them for tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars now, actually, just to be able to say that they're carbon neutral. The same thing happens with these, these large CEOs of these companies. They're flying around in jets. They have 5 homes all over the place. They may have a carbon footprint that is in the hundreds of thousands of pounds of carbon per year. So they do the same thing. They'll buy carbon credits for $150,000 at the end of the year, write them off on their taxes, and claim that they are carbon neutral. And they do this over and over and over again by still using the same amount of coal and natural gas to use their energy, but offsetting or greenwashing themselves, right? So this is a way, and there's going to be a tremendous amount of interest among that crowd within these NFTs as well. I guarantee it, because these NFTs will have a direct representation of what they're taking off of the planet in a very short period of time. There's some places out there that will promote that, you can donate $100 or $200 a month, and they'll go out and plant some trees for you, and you can be carbon neutral or negative in the next 20 years. I mean, this is something that can happen today, and it's something that even our individual machines, the amount of carbon and the amount of green kilowatts that are created, that is going to be registered in the blockchain as well. So each one of these NFTs will have and show their direct impact on, cleaning up the environment and cleaning up the earth, period.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, and we had talked about this very early on, is on a lot of the islands out there in the world, right, that are using diesel to generate the majority of their electricity right now. Solars, land use, whatever, that all that stuff comes to, but they're using diesel gasoline because it's a what do you call it, a steady source for them to get power, when they can't really use wind, right? Because they have hurricanes and big storms, and normal units, the standalone big turbines can't handle that, right? Because you can't take them down. So by this being able to fold up, this is something that could be put on an island somewhere and utilize it. We had talked too as well about some of the reefs in some of the places that are getting destroyed because of having to go to dirtier diesel.
Absolutely.
Because of shortages and things like that, and the availability of it. Can you cover that, Kevin?
Absolutely. So we work very closely with the Samoan Islands and some of the chiefs there. And basically they're 100% dependent on transporting diesel to the island, pouring that diesel into a generator. That generator powers the island. Diesel is about 3 times the price by the time it gets to that island. Then from there, everybody knows what they pay on their electric bill right now here in the States. They pay in excess of 70 cents per kilowatt hour for their electricity because of the amount of increase of diesel that it takes to get to the island. So they looked at using large turbines. They have 70-mile-an-hour winds just about every month. It just tears them apart. They looked at solar for those individual projects. Solar, when it's on the ground, looks like a big wing. So like a big airplane wing, when you get 70-mile-an-hour winds, they blow away. So they've been stuck with this diesel system. We built this with the military to be able to work in all kinds of conditions. And when the wind gets above 50 miles an hour, our system folds down into a box, protects itself in the 40-foot container. When the storm is past, it comes back up and starts creating energy. So what this does is it will reduce the cost of energy for an islander by almost 90%. In addition, it provides clean power. Now, when they were using clean diesel, they didn't really have much of a problem on the reefs because clean diesel, like they use in trucks here in the United States, that the EPA approves, the particulates that go into the air are very small, so they float way up into the atmosphere and they dissipate. Well, as diesel becomes more expensive, which obviously everybody knows it has, and it's been going that route for about 10 years. What these islands do to be cost effective is they start using lower grades of diesel. If you've ever seen a boat or a ship start their engines in a harbor and you see that huge black plume of smoke come out, that is because they're using what's called tier 3 diesel. It's just a really dirty gasoline, right? Really dirty diesel. When they started using that in the islands to control their energy costs, those particulates are very large. So they go up less than a mile, and then they fall right back down on the island and into the ocean. So about a year and a half ago, they started doing some tests on that. And a mile around these diesel generators on all these islands, the reefs are completely dead because of all this dirty diesel falling directly right back down into the ocean. When you look at the island now, for about half a mile around where the diesel generator is placed, there's no vegetation. So this solution is also in the projects that we're going to be involved in, is going to be not only saving wildlife, but also these people that are, they only have energy from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's shut off after that. And they also have to prepay for their energy because it's so expensive. So if they don't have the $100 to turn their electricity back on, they might not have electricity for weeks at a time. So these types of systems that we've built that are able to actually replace the dirty machines that they rely on are going to make a big change, not only for the people and the lifestyle, but also for the marine life and everything that's around them that's suffering.
Awesome. Awesome. So also let's cover a little bit about disaster relief. So, hurricane comes through, blows down the power lines, people's power is interrupted. How can this project solve those issues with being able to provide power and get things back up and running a little bit faster there?
That's a great question, Peter. So we have a disaster relief unit that we build that provides 100% clean energy. It provides 250 hours of backup to that energy if there is no wind and sun, or if the unit has to be closed because there's still a storm, they still get energy. Within that unit, it also creates up to 20,000 gallons of clean water through an electronic filtration system that is powered by the system. And it also has a communication system inside, which will allow everybody to connect their cell phones to a remote tower to stay in contact with each other. But one of the main things that it does is it provides relief immediately. So as of right now, FEMA and everybody else, they use diesel generators like everybody else. So when the grid goes down and everything falls apart, they drop off these diesel generators, they pour diesel into them, and they are able to put back the power as long as they're able to get the diesel, right? So the diesel on the island runs out very quickly. And then the deliveries of diesel sometimes can't get back to the machines. So you have this, you have people in a chaotic situation already. Half of the people's homes are down. Everybody's living with relatives on top of each other. No power, no refrigeration. Our systems are able, like for Puerto Rico, for instance, their next big storm that demolishes everything, we'll be able to drop 100 onto a ship, have them there in a day, put them on the island, deploy them immediately. I mean, you just press a button and they go up in the air. They connect to them. It brings them back their power, gives them fresh water and communication. And now when another storm comes through, which happens very often, usually the first storm is the largest, but you have many storms that come after that. Instead of everything falling apart again, these machines, again, they sense the storm, they fold the blades, they go back down into the box, they run off the battery power until that storm subsides, they go back up and start producing energy again. Now, here's the big kicker. When we deliver those 100 machines, FEMA and the military that runs FEMA, they don't bring those machines back. Now, there's 100 machines that are on the island that are generating energy 100% of the time, 365 days a year. And now when the next storm happens, again, these just fold back down into the box. They come back up to produce power once the storm's over. And you don't even have the delivery time to put power back into the hands of those types of people. And I mean, if you've ever been in a disaster situation, I mean, the one biggest thing that happens is fresh water and then also refrigeration. All the food and everything that's dropped off, I mean, half of it goes to waste because there's no power to refrigerate it. So we think that, we know that we have a great solution for that. And it's also something that they can rely on because storms are only getting worse, right? They're only getting hit more often. And when you leave these types of units there, they know that when the next storm comes, they're not going to be put in the same situation again.
Perfect. Perfect. I want to explain a couple things and then we're going to answer some questions and stuff. And then we'll kind of get into, and I'll explain a little bit of the details there. So MPC Commercial is the company that makes these machines. These machines were created by a gentleman by the name of John Pittry. John Pittry is a hugely successful, famous artist that has been around a long time. He developed and put these machines together. He's actually been talking about green energy and a cleaner planet since the early 70s, late 60s. In that area, he's been concerned and has actually done a lot of artwork and different things on this subject. So this is not somebody who just sat around and said, hey, green energy is getting hot, let's jump into the business and do it. Green Citizen is the project that is going to be launching the NFT. So Green Citizen is going to utilize the revenue, the majority of this revenue, other than hard costs and things like that, that it takes to launch the NFTs. The funds from that are going to go towards purchasing these machines. So the machines start rolling out, Kevin. So, and yes, there are working prototypes out in the marketplace. This is not something that's hypothetical. I know, because being in the entrepreneurial space for all these years, I've had 50 things sent to me that said, hey, there's somebody who knows how to create energy off the head of a pin, and all they need is $74 million, and they'll develop this head of the pin energy technology, and we're all going to be in great shape, and we're going to make gazillions of dollars, right? So Kevin, can you real quick cover the stage at which this project is at? It's gone through prototyping and that early phases, and right now is, go ahead, take it away.
Sure, no problem. So when we first developed this project, we developed it with the Air Force with the Air Force and the Air Force Research Labs, which also works with SpaceX and a lot of other places, on the Pearl Harbor Hickam Air Force Base in Oahu, Hawaii. So we built a prototype, a couple of them actually. We ran them on the base for about 2 years. The Air Force Research Labs tested them out, approved them for the military. Then from there, we went through a second phase of testing for commercial, got approved there. Now we are working with a Department of Defense, a large manufacturer in Pennsylvania. They actually manufacture the Humvee for the United States military. So they are able to build things very strong that last a long time. And they just finished up final engineering on the project and are starting to build the assembly line now. And the first machines are going to be coming out within a matter of 4 to 6 months. So we are already into the inline production of the machines. We'll be able to generate about 100 machines a month for the first 3 months, then moving up to 500 under additional 1 million square feet that's being built out right now in Pennsylvania. That equates to about, when you think about energy, that equates to about 1 gigawatt of energy, green energy per month coming out of a factory that can be landed. To put that into context, Elon Musk just stated that he wants to build a 1 gigawatt solar park in Texas to mine green Bitcoin, which will enable people to buy Teslas, because he doesn't want people to buy Teslas with dirty coins. That project right now is slated to be complete in the beginning of 2027. So that's how long it takes to put a gigawatt of power on the ground. With our ICE technology, instant clean energy out of the factory, we're going to be able to do that in about 18 months.
Okay, so now I wanted you guys, so Kevin said something there about somebody wanting to mine Bitcoin with clean energy. I want you to think about this project. We're going to sell NFTs. Those NFTs are going to purchase machines. Those machines are going to, the revenue off of those machines are going to be used to purchase more machines, which are going to be used to purchase more machines. Wait a minute, if they can use solar to mine Bitcoin, wouldn't green energy be able to use this project to possibly maybe mine Bitcoin? Oh, wait a minute, then wouldn't that mean that Green Citizen would own that Bitcoin? Oh, wait, if we can mine Bitcoin, or could we mine other coins? Could we become a clean energy source for mining this as a organization, meaning the holders of these NFTs are generating and building and putting things together. I'm just a thought that just flew through my head when we're talking about, you know, wanting to clean up the space, right? Produce these mined tokens for less money. I mean, our machines don't have to go into an energy park. They could go right next to some miners there and do some clean mining there, right? Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, they can, everything starts with energy. You know, it's right now people are charging their cars with coal and natural gas energy. Right now people are creating the new hydrogen boom with coal and natural gas energy. You replace, the only reason they're doing that is because of the fact, it's very simple. All of the wind farms that you see and all of the solar parks that you see have already sold that green energy to a utility for the next 20 years. You can't go out and purchase green energy, no matter how hard you try. It's already been pre-sold. So what we're able to do is we would be able to put down 100 machines, connect them to a data center, and mine clean coins right out of the gate. There's no wait time there. We'd also be able to, we already have a partnership with a company called Millennium Rain, who has a unit that creates green hydrogen. They just need something to plug it into. So we're giving them a green energy source to create the green hydrogen that's going to be needed for the next round of vehicles that are coming out, which are green hydrogen. So yes, anywhere that energy is needed, now they have a way to basically circumvent the 3-year process of construction and permitting. I mean, to put one of those, you know, you need a helicopter, 3 cranes, and a 100-foot hole to be able to even start the process of putting in 1 turbine. Just the construction and permitting process of that is tremendous. We don't have any of that. If there's a private piece of land and a connection to an energy source, we're able to drop down the container, push a button, and clean energy comes directly out of it. So we're going to be able to solve a lot of problems that are happening right now. And every problem that's solved is a step towards a cleaner planet, because you're subsidizing the burning of coal and natural gas.
Well, and one of those things I'd love to cover here is, you know, everybody's like, hey, I'm going to get a Tesla, and Hyundai's coming out with electric cars. Everybody's coming out with electric cars. The problem is our electrical grid right now is not built to the standard to have, you know, millions of cars every day being driven on electricity, right? So what do we need to do? If we want to go to electric cars, we need to beef up the production of electricity, right?
Correct.
Is that going to be clean electricity, or is it going to be dirtier electricity? So that we could produce 10,000 of these machines and boom, every single one of those. It's not going to be like, well, who are we going to sell the power to? It's not like, hey, we're inventing something. It's like, who are you going to sell this to? There is more demand for it than ever before. And again, it's affordable. It's a cost-effective way of producing green energy, which again, as a business person, that makes sense to me, right? Something being not cost-effective doesn't make any sense to me as a business person, but something that's cost-effective and can produce green energy is extremely appealing in this process of going there. And again, this is not a pipe dream. This is a product that is finished, ready to go, right? Going to start coming off the production line and start moving forward. So let's jump in and let's answer some questions, because there are a lot of questions. I think we might have answered a few already. So like Marty wants to know, how is it connected to the grid? Well, Marty, if you go get your toaster, there's a cord on your toaster, you plug it into the wall. It's kind of like that. It just has a really long cord. We just have to find a toaster to plug it into. Oh, no, wait, the toaster plugs into the wall. All right, Kevin, I'm going to turn that one over to you to explain how it connects to the grid, because I don't know if my explanation was very good.
Sure. So basically you have all across the country, there are substations, and these individual substations take the power from high voltage, which you see the really big lines, the 8 lines running very high, down to a lower voltage that goes into your home. Now, traditional solar parks and wind parks are built next to that substation, and then the power from the individual, like our box or a wind turbine or solar, is low voltage. So it's 13.8. Basically, it doesn't need to be transformed. So it's plugged into the substation, and the substation pushes it out through the grid. So we use existing infrastructure to plug into that's already there to push that green energy directly into the grid.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So Cindy has a great question, and I'm going to clear this one up. So her question is, so how does this work on supporting the investors? Just wanting to understand the benefits of supporting this great project. So Cindy, there are no investors, right? We're selling a piece of artwork. That's what an NFT is, right? A digital piece of artwork. The sales of that artwork is going to go and purchase machines. The credit of taking producing that green energy will go to the NFT holder at this point. The revenue then again from the secondary sales from the machine are going to go purchase more machines and develop more green energy. And the reason for this, guys, is look, this is not an investment. It's not a Reg D offering. It's not this. This is a very how can we say it, complex situation when it comes to NFTs and where it's at. So the first initial side of this is simply this. These NFTs are going to accumulate an amount of reduction from the production of carbon, right? And these are going to build up on this. There are people right now, as we talked about, I believe it was Bill Gates spent several $100 million to reduce his carbon footprint, right? There's other people that are every day. There's places where you can donate $100 or $200. There are people who check that box on their electric bill here in Phoenix that said, I'm going to pay an extra $40, $50 a month so I can feel good about this. There are millions of people out there that buy clothes for twice, 3 times as much money because they're made from sustainable sources. Companies are spending hundreds of millions of dollars in order to put a stamp on saying that they are green approval, right? The value of these NFTs are going to come from that side of it, the carbon reduction side, that piece of it where people go, wow, I want to own one of those. I want to be a piece of those. Where the future goes, we don't know at this point, right? We do know, though, that the money from these NFTs are going to go, the vast majority of those funds are going to go to buy machines, less the hard cost of what it takes, right? The art, those type of things, the smart contracts, all the building of the site, that type of stuff, people to run the day-to-day operations. But the majority of the funds are going to keep going to buy more and more and more machines that are still pegged to the same amount of NFTs, right? So 10,000 NFTs at first will have, 7, 8 machines or more than that. Sorry. About 7 or 8 machines. Those 7 or 8 will become 14 to 16, still 10,000 NFTs representing those. Those 16 will become 32. Those 32 will become 64. The 64 could become 128. Eventually, those 10,000 NFTs are related through the carbon reduction at this point to those, who knows how many machines, 100 machines, 200 machines, 500 machines, 1,000 machines. And in turn, the value is in the art and the ability to reduce carbon. That's about as far as I can explain at this point. Now, again, things change over the course of time, and life is a wonderful thing, and who knows where it heads down the road, right? Okay, the lifespan of the machine, it's 20 years, correct, Kevin?
Absolutely, 20 years, correct.
Yeah, 20 years right now. Of course, there hasn't been one running for 20 years. It could be longer, but we know at least 20 years, right? All right, so let's see. How does the NFT earn credits? Does it pay for the unit? Then the power is produced becomes credits. How much does each unit cost? And maintenance and operating costs.
Okay, so each unit, depending on where it's deployed, would run anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 on average. The maintenance is extremely low. The maintenance on a traditional turbine is about $70,000 per year. The maintenance on our turbine is about $1,000 per year. Now, the reason being is our turbine has no gears. A traditional turbine has a transmission that is 500 feet in the air. Anytime there's vibration to that transmission, it goes out of service, and you need a crane or a helicopter to go up there and fix it. We use what's called an axial flux generator. It's a generator that is copper that spins around a panel. So there are no gears or moving parts that have to be replaced. And when we do our yearly maintenance, we're able to lower the turbine directly to the ground for maintenance, which reduces the need for cranes, specialized personnel. It's a very, very simple process. So it's very low maintenance. It is a very technical yet simple machine, and it stays running and keeps running. One of the things that as I was getting into this industry that I didn't understand, and I think everybody that's driven by a turbine park has probably had the same question. There's one of the largest turbine parks in the world is near Palm Springs, where I live. And I've been driving past that for the last 20 years. And about a third to half of those turbines are not moving. Now, I always thought was because they were waiting for wind, meaning half of them are pointed in one direction, another half are pointed in a separate direction. So when the wind changes, these ones work and the other ones don't work. Well, I was absolutely wrong in that. They're not waiting for wind, they're waiting for maintenance. Because each one of those individual machines has what's called a yaw mechanism. It's a mechanism that just finds out where the wind is through a computer, and every 3 minutes it turns it a couple degrees into the wind. Now, that's a huge factor, because not only are they not producing energy, but they're waiting for somebody to find a crane, find a helicopter, which are becoming more and more scarce because more turbines are coming out, right? So you have a turbine that within its 20-year lifetime only operates about 11 years. So we operate 365 days a year, and we're able to do maintenance very quickly. So it's we've tried to fix that problem.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So Bill has a great question, and that is, will these machines drive tax credits and energy rebates? And the answer to that question is absolutely yes. And those tax credits and energy rebates will go towards what? Purchasing more machines, further reducing and producing more credits towards these NFTs in order to reduce carbon further, right? This is part of the process. So PNC makes the machines. Green Citizen is purchasing those machines with the revenue from the NFTs, and those will go into activity, and the NFT holders will get the credit for it. All the revenues that are coming in, less the cost to run things, right, is going back towards purchasing and getting more and more machines out there, accomplishing that goal initially and at this point on where things are at in the crypto side of things, the NFT side of things, and all that stuff. So Kevin, you want to say anything on that, buddy?
No, I mean, it all comes back. I mean, these questions are kind of generating back towards, where the value lies, right? And I think that, it's not an investment. I mean, you're owning the NFT, but think about it this way. Everybody's seen NFTs going for 5, 10, 20 ETH, right? And these NFTs, I don't feel are purposeful. I don't feel that, they're a traded marketplace. So we're trying to generate here is a purposeful NFT where 6 months, a year down the line, when somebody goes to look at that NFT has done something for the planet. It has reduced maybe 1,000 pounds of carbon. It has generated maybe 10,000 kilowatts of green energy. And you know what? If they go back and look at that NFT a month from now, it's done more. It's actively working towards cleaning the planet. And there's no other NFT out there that we've been able to scour or find that can show that it's doing something other than a digital image, right? I mean, the NFTs are crazy space. What we're trying to do is say, you know what? We love the NFT space. We love cleaning up the planet. We have a machine that can do it. Let's put those things together. And then when the secondary market comes around, they're like, oh, wow, that NFT is doing something. It's moving forward. It's helping the planet. How many of those can I get, right?
Yeah. And there's actually several other inventions, guys, too, that can be deployed and implemented here that John has created and put together as this moves forward. And Green Citizen is up and running, and these groups of NFTs are put together, and where there could be some voting where they say, hey, yeah, we'd like to deploy this, or we'd like to do this and head that in that direction. So the idea is to give people this opportunity, this ability to participate in, first of all, an area where there's a lot of effort and energy being put into, right, which is green energy, the green space, but also a cleaner planet, right? This idea, this concept that we've got to live here a long time, hopefully, right? And we need it to be as clean and as nice as possible. And for most of us, we don't get a chance to participate in these type of things, right? Again, I can check my energy bill, right? And then every month my bill's going to be higher, or I can purchase something that has a secondary market for it that I could resell at some point in time, get all my money back, maybe get more money, right? As well as accomplishing this concept and this idea of being able to say, yeah, we're carbon neutral or we're carbon negative on this. So, and when like the machine, 20-year lifespan, but if the revenues are going back 5 years from now to purchase more green energy equipment, more technology, this is ongoing. Year 25, year 30, year 35, year 40, year 50. This is an ongoing. We're talking about being able to create an impact that is ongoing well beyond, any set amount of time, because of the idea and the concept about Green Citizen is allowing citizens to help solve the problem of green energy versus the government's regulatory, all that stuff that's out there. So that's what I loved about Green Citizen, right? It's citizens. That's the key word in there. Citizens doing something about it. This NFT series allows you as a citizen to participate in creating that green energy.
Perfectly said.
All right, let's see. We got a couple more questions. Let's see what they are. Okay. How much does it cost to produce? Okay, where do cost to connect to the grid? Drew is asking. So we already answered the other two questions on the maintenance and the production. So the cost to put to the grid is I don't know if that if we know what that is. I'm sure it is. It's probably not very expensive, correct, Kevin?
No, it's the project sites that we already have options on and we've already attained. There's just a very small amount of construction that takes to run a line to what's called a microgrid, which is less than $100,000 to be able to hook up hundreds of these directly to the grid. So the main thing is there's already a substation there. So the infrastructure has already been bought and paid for by the utility.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. So how much of the NFT is going to be? Guys, we're targeting probably in the 250 to 275 range. The pre-sale though, for the people that are part of our community whitelisting will probably be 225 will be it. The goal is to sell 10,000 NFTs initially, which again, I'll put those after expenses and costs about 7, maybe 8 machines into activity. That'll get that cycling through, generating those revenues, and then being able to get that going. So the tax credits, the revenue off of it, as well as these machines are paid for. So then we can go to some financing and finance additional machines and get this thing really growing and moving forward. So that is that's the initial thought process in that area. Moving forward from there. Joylyn asked a question. Do you already have a contract with FEMA? Does PNC already have a contract with FEMA?
FEMA works directly with the military, and we work directly with a DoD manufacturer in Pennsylvania that works directly with FEMA. So the way FEMA works is the first machine comes out and then they come and kick the tires and look at purchasing them instead of the diesel generator replacement. And then they make the decision on how many they want to buy. One of the great things is one of the directors and board seat holders of the manufacturing company that we've joined partnership with is actually on the disaster board of FEMA as well. So
awesome.
It helps to have people in high places.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, guys, the key is though, this allows for us to participate in it. Kevin's not coming to your house going, hey, I'm here. Are you an accredited investor? And do you have $1 million to put in my business? It's basically, this allows for everyday people to participate in something that's super cool. That's really neat, right? That again, has the potential because of the art that's being developed, because of the technology and everything else, and the accumulation of value to the NFT. That accumulation is what? Carbon, right? The fact that, I mean, it'd be cool, 20 years from now to go, yeah, I've got an NFT that's reduced 50 million pounds of carbon, right? But by in the production side of things or something like that, as this thing develops and grows. And again, this is a community driven project. So the community will have voting stuff. We'll put all this together over time to say, hey, oh, there's something else that's out there. Let's move it to that. Let's develop this. Who knows what we do, right? As we move through this process. So we'll have a lot more details on this when we get closer to the NFTs launching. So we're not going to get into any names at this point, Kevin, but there are some pretty high profile people that have invested in the company, the manufacturing company, that have committed to us in helping move these NFTs. Is that correct?
Absolutely. One of the best-selling authors of all time is one of them. There's many others, some people that are pretty high up in a lot of tech companies as well. And what we're going to be doing is, this is for the community now. We will be launching a Green Citizen website that will be accessed by millions of people here in the near future, that will offer them a way to calculate their own carbon footprint online, which will be driven from lists that a lot of high profile people will be driving to the site, where they'll be able to calculate their carbon footprint and then from there be directed right to the NFTs to offset that carbon footprint. So that could be in this initial market, but more than likely, those people are going to be coming into the secondary market after the community's already purchased them too, right? So we are going to be driving interest into that NFT market through people calculating their carbon footprint and wanting to become a green citizen. So there's a lot of promotion that's going to go behind it. I think that offering it to the Nexus ecosystem is the right move to do, to be able to get this thing kickstarted, allow people to take advantage of it early on, and then knowing that we're going to have a lot of people rolling through the Green Citizen website wanting to become a green citizen, and by doing so, calculating their carbon footprint, and then looking to how many NFTs are available for them to purchase, which in turn will be the secondary market, right?
Perfect. Yeah. And we are working with a company, guys, to make it to where people will be able to use their credit card to do this. So I want you to think through your Rolodex, your database of people, and go, not people that want to get into crypto, not people that even want to, but the people that that are, people who are extremely concerned about the environment and on the green side of things. You could we'll create marketing materials and ways for you to send something to them and say, hey, you can get whitelisted on that to be able to get one of these NFTs and hold these NFTs. There'll be badges that they'll hold that'll signify that how much carbon they've burned off and all that stuff. So this is going to be an entire system built around this. As Kevin was saying, there'll be a website built. There'll be very high profile people promoting that website and saying, go to, this website, and they're going to be learning about this and how they can participate in moving this technology forward and getting themselves to carbon neutral or carbon negative through those situations. Right. And so it's an exciting project to be a part of. We've been working on this now for 6 months, I think now. I don't know how long it's been. Seems like a long time now. But in this space, it seems like at least a long time. But we're really excited about it. Who knows what happens in the future? Does there become a green token? Oh, wait a minute. There was a green token. There were NFT holders. What could happen? I don't know. maybe nothing, maybe something. Anyway, we're going to leave it at that. All right, guys. Lots of great things that can come along when, what is it? Community is commerce. When a community of people come together for a common purpose, narrow in focus, that says, here's what we want to accomplish, then the value created for those community members can be multiplied by the activity and the commitment of that community, especially when you tie it to a concept that is absolutely cutting edge and that is, just the right movement at the right time, right? It's amazing the value that we can create there. I mean, if you look at it, there was a new NFT project that just was launched called Moonbirds, right? Moonbirds has already done over $500 million between primary and secondary marketplaces. And again, what's going to be that next project? Is it just going to be some digital artwork with maybe some promises behind it? Or is it going to be a project that has major people promoting it, that has a real purpose beyond just being part of a group, but also creating something valuable for the planet, valuable for the people, and utilizing cutting edge technology? I don't know. We'll have to see. All right. Kevin, any final thoughts, buddy?
No, I think that we covered everything. Thank you everybody for attending and taking a look at our little icebox machine we got going on here, instant green energy in a box. And hopefully we'll see you guys at the NFT launch.
And Joy Lynn asked one final question, which is timeline for the release. Right now, guys, I would say we're probably looking at, with everything coming together, probably the beginning of July. So that's probably what we're looking at. The first or second week in July is probably what we're looking at right now with the timing of everything. So in about 6 weeks. All right.
This was amazing. Kevin, again, thank you so much. It's so nice to have you come on and explain the strategy and the complexity of this this equipment, this machinery. I think you sparked a lot of ideas in people's heads. And it is real exciting to be a part of the Nexus ecosystem where we're able to take NFTs beyond a piece of just art and allow it to become something that is functional. And as Peter, you said, really create an impact on the world.
One final question that we really need to ask. Kevin, can you give them a little of your background on marketing and the successes that you've had in the past, right? Because you're like,
way to bury the lead.
You're kind of like at the helm of the ship, right? So can you run by what you've done there?
Absolutely. So I spent about 10 years in the commodity industry out of college, and built one of the largest commodity trading companies in the United States and Canada. In turn, sold that in early 2000. At that time, 300 million was a lot of money. Sold that company, then moved into internet marketing. We created an internet marketing platform for small businesses that automatically turned their yellow page data into an immediate website, a Facebook page, social media, all those types of things. It was data driven. We worked with the Yellow Pages here in the States and the Bell Canada. We got the interest of Carlos Slim in Mexico, who owned the Yellow Pages for all of Mexico, and ended up working with them for a couple of years and then selling that company to the Grupo Carso, which is the Carlos Slim group. At that time, he was the richest man in the world who bought that company. Got into green energy, working with solar products and different types of things, really looking for the next big thing in energy. Started doing some patent hunting, came across these patents of John's, and started developing and raising some funds to bring those to fruition. And now here we are, just about 2 years later from starting that project, actually taking the machines and putting them into production and working on a way to solve the energy crisis that we're about to have on this planet and already having.
Awesome. And Kevin, by the way, we're still 10 years away from 250, 300 million not being a lot of money. Okay. So we're still 10 years away. That 10 years from now, it will not be a lot of money. Today, it is still a lot of money.
Well,
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us.
you see these guys making 10, $15 million in a week on NFTs. It's kind of questionable, right? So, yeah, maybe I should have been in this market a lot sooner.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Kevin, thank you so very much for giving us the opportunity to be part of something like this. We would never really be able to do this on our own. So thank you. It's an amazing project.
Yeah. Well, thank you to introducing me to the community, and we'll be working together for a long time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye,
Kevin.
everybody.
Oh my goodness. Amazing.
All right. So do we want to cover? So next week, guys, on the AMA, one of the things we are going to cover is we've been putting together a plan. Our tech guys have been putting together a plan for putting in some safety features so we don't end up with a situation like we did with Safufy ever again. So we're going to be hopefully have that ready for next week to go over and go through. So that'll be next week. We'll cover that plan and lay that out of things that we're putting into place and doing, from additional audits to different stuff like that. So that'll be next week when we put that plan out there and go from there. Hopefully everybody got to see over the weekend your first Crypto Gods NFT. That was very cool to see. Marty got a super cool one that had all kinds of movement and stuff like that. You know, Dawn was jealous because hers didn't have a lot of movement.
Not true. Not true.
You know, she didn't.
Look, I even went to try to buy another one on the secondary market just in the hopes that I would get an amazing animated one. It didn't work, but that's okay. I still have another NFT that's gorgeous and, you know, has hidden tokens, so I'm happy. But yeah, I'm not jealous. Don't say that. But it's amazing. It is amazing. I'm happy for you.
She's very happy for you, Marty.
Very happy for you.
Yes.
There's a couple of them out there. There's a
I
couple
think it
of
came
folks.
up that you have a lucky horseshoe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. On that line, though, I do want to tell
In the
you
wheel,
that
Marty's name comes up.
that's right, like 5 times in a row. No, but if you were waiting though on an Ethereum NFT to be in your wallet for whatever reason, there were several little issues here and there. If you're waiting on an Ethereum NFT or a DOT NFT or the latest BNB NFT, those were all dropped in your wallets. I confirmed with the blockchain developer that those are now in your wallet. So if you still don't see them, please let us know and we'll get that resolved however we need to. I think there's maybe 5 people that Sharona put on a secondary list for me. We're going to get that taken care of for whatever those reasons are. But yeah, please check your wallets if you were missing one and let us know if you have it. And then you can watch the AMA replay to see how to get it refreshed on OpenSea so you can see what you need to see there. Oh, and DOT, the next one in the series, is about 80% complete with the animation and lighting on that one. So we're very, very close, and we should be able to reveal that in a couple of weeks. We got to test it. We got to
Saturday then. Yeah.
Probably the following Saturday. Yeah, we got to test everything, create that huge list that you see on OpenSea. We got some work to do, but it's very close.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Any other updates we have, ladies?
That was the NFT one was really the one that we had come up with that we want to make sure we covered. So we are good. We are good.
Excellent, excellent. I believe in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be revealing our new NFT marketplace, at least talk a little bit about it. An NFT marketplace that you can basically do cross-chain purchases, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So a very innovative marketplace. So not only will we be able to put them on OpenSea, we'll actually be able to put our NFTs on our own marketplace. I think maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll reveal the name of it and all that stuff. So a lot of stuff going on there from that side of it. And a lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah, lots happening.
Yes, I was reading what Marty put muon in there with a question mark. I don't know.
Oh.
Not, and then she put not with a question mark. So
Yes,
not, I don't
muon
know.
technology.
Yes, it is muon technology. Yeah.
Always muon technology. That's standard answer. Yes.
We're moving forward with muon.
As far as staking rewards, I know you guys are so anxious. I'm so anxious myself to have staking rewards turned on again, but we are just being super thorough, super cautious. We don't ever want that to happen again with our contracts. So as soon as that staking contract is actually ready and developed, we're going to get it audited right away. So we're still just waiting on the blockchain developers to get that done.
Yeah, so they have to finish the contract still. They're working on it. Once it's finished, we need about 3 to 5 days for the audit to take place. Once that is done, then we'll release the date on which staking will start again. Okay. So it's still out a few weeks, at least a few weeks, guys. So to answer that question.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good. We talked about credit card processing. That's coming very soon.
Yes.
We're already getting that established on all of our sites. So yeah, I think that's it.
So Todd is saying if I bought an NFT set, we should have 3 right now, right?
Correct.
Yes, you should have 3 in there. If you don't, let us know. Okay.
And registration is live and open for ADA, the 4th in the series. So if you're wanting ADA individually, you will go to Catapult Swap and register for that project. It's been live for about a week now. So feel free to do that. We will probably do the mint. I'm giving it a little bit of time, trying to get everything caught up. So probably we'll mint Friday is my hope. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll announce it for sure once we can know when we can do it.
Boy,
All right.
I gotta tell you, I know the person behind these crypto gods, and he's got some really freaking cool stuff we're gonna do down the road with him. So it's gonna be freaking awesome to own one. I just gotta tell you. That's
Or
all.
own 4 or more, or 5 or whatever.
Whatever you do.
I'm
Just
saying.
really, really cool stuff. So all right. Well, if that's it, ladies, what else?
Just quick reminder, if you are looking for an opportunity to share the Nexus ecosystem with friends and family, your easy button is on Thursday evenings at 5 o'clock right here on this YouTube channel, where you will just turn the control panel over to Mr. Peter Gantner, and he will walk your friends and family through the Nexus opportunity and let them know what's going on here and how they can get involved. So there's a great easy button for us all. Just to invite folks and let them, let Peter do the hard lifting, man. I'm telling nobody better than him to tell the story. So keep that in mind, folks. Bring folks over to the call on Thursday evenings at 5 Pacific. All right. So that's it from us. Thank you all very, very much. We'll see you next week and at 7 p.m. Next week's our late week. And until then, we'll see you in Discord.